morning, and welcome to Shop Talk with Bell. What's happening, my lovely people?
Good morning.
Y'all know I couldn't wait to get on here, so let's just jump right into it. Queen Elizabeth II, the one on the glory, whichever glory that is. Per Black Twitter. Black Twitter. Listen, is there a time like where it's too early?
I'm like, they don't really care no more. They just have at it, man. They just go off.
They are totally. Look at Nick going off talking to somebody. I don't know who, because we can't hear her, huh?
Can't hear you, Nick. Come on. Take your foot off.
My bad. I keep forgetting. The internet has no chill, period. So they went in immediately.
The internet is out here wild. They are just losing it on the Queen.
Right.
Like, they are not hailing the Queen at all. They are going straight shade on the Queen. They are going crazy on the Queen.
It's like the Wizard of Oz, you know, when they was like, "Oh, how the witch is dead." Like, I didn't know that many people disliked her.
Yeah, it's a lot of people that did not. I would say it in this way: they detested the Queen. They did not like the Queen at all. They was not feeling her at all, because I have a cousin. He posted up a few different little facts about how England had stole a lot from Africa. He had been posting things of that nature. And I'm like, whoa, so yeah, a lot of people didn't like the Queen. Not at all.
Listen, I didn't even know it was a thing with the Italian Twitter. You got Black Twitter, you got the Italian Twitter.
I didn't know about an Italian Twitter neither.
They went in first to make it okay for Black Twitter. Go ahead, Nick, what you got?
Oh, wow. Like, listen, yeah, I wonder how Meghan Markle feels. She's probably a little bit relieved now.
You think?
Probably.
I would say that she probably is too, because they put so much pressure on that for a woman about nationality not being of a pure blood descent, I guess you would say. So yeah, they really put them through it, and I respect her husband. I respect the prince for it,
for just falling in love.
For just falling in love and saying, well, we don't need none of this. Let's just go. Let's just go be in love, be happy, raise our kid, and say, hey, we'll see y'all later. That takes a lot of nerve to just walk away from the monarch,
right.
And just say, we're going to go be on our own and we don't need anything, So of course it was a lot of pressure, because, they've had that tradition for so long, and, for him to just walk away and say, hey, I'm done. I can't do this. I love this woman, no matter her color, creed, or whatever the case may be. That's a stand-up guy right there. That takes a lot of heart.
Okay, I'll give you that, which this situation actually brings us to our topic, the bait and switch. Meghan knew going into that situation how it was going to be. That's why I'm like, okay, wait a minute. So you went in, you were like, okay, I know he's the prince. She probably didn't think that she would be treated differently. And I think that Harry actually walked away when they said, how dark are your children going to be? I think that was the point. But even like, it seems as if they embraced her. His dad walked her down the aisle when her dad pulled out. You remember all of that. All of that. Hey, listen, I want you guys to join in this conversation. Comment down below. Call in 619-902-2287. I want to hear your thoughts on this. And we're going to continue with some facts. Actually, a known fact. Nick, regarding
Alrighty then.
the hierarchy.
Now, with the hierarchy, Why they trying to act like, put it this way, whitewashed a little bit. Charlotte of Mecklenburg-Strelitz was Queen Elizabeth's, let me see, great. It's either great or great grandmother. She was black.
Mm-hmm.
She married into the family as well, like Meghan Markle. And she was light
That's probably
skinned,
what they
but
didn't want to repeat.
yeah, they probably did. They didn't want to repeat that, but it happened. So like all the rest of them on down, y'all black, y'all. So what was the issue? Now she of course was very light skinned. She was already like the Duchess. But if anybody want to Google it, it's Charlotte of Mecklenburg Strelitz, and it's Mecklenburg hyphen Strelitz.
Oh, she kept the last name too, like Meghan Markle.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Mecklenburg Street is the area that you actually presided over. Like when
Oh,
they
okay.
have so and
Okay.
so of, that's because that's the area they're
I
from,
think
and then
that was
they
the
added
last
the end.
segment. I know y'all want to hyphenate everything like Jada Pinkett Smith
Exactly.
and all that.
But
I'm like, okay, is that what they doing?
there
Okay.
is an extensive like
History, if
Wikipedia
that's what
has
you're interested in.
everything. The history, yes.
Now, back to my question. They did not wait. Like this lady, I don't even know if her body was even like cold yet. How soon is too soon?
Like I said, the internet ain't got no chill, man. They are just going absolutely berserk. I was just looking at stuff like, wow, like, they ain't got no love for the queen at all. They are just full on blasting her. And I'm like, that is just, I feel in a sense is horrible, but then again, it's not because of, I
The way
feel
she
like
treats people.
no matter what the situation is, like say for instance, with the prince and his wife, it's like whoever he chose, it's like we understand that you're the Queen of England, but yet still you're a grandmother first. And that's your grandchild. And so
Right.
for me, I would think that, you know, the love for your grandchild would come first. Come on, it's not about the monarchy, it's about family first. And I would think that if that's who you love, then that's who you should be. They should respect that.
Now, some footage that I saw prior to her death, I saw her playing with the little baby. You know what I mean? So it might be a little different. I don't know their thoughts. I don't know how they operate over there. But I will say what actually got me interested in them over there was Harry. Because
Mm-hmm.
Harry was the one that was like, okay, I'm gonna go into the military, I'm doing this. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Harry is the one that made me say, oh, okay, well, what they doing over there? Hold on. So
Mm-hmm.
he's like, I guess I'm a fan of Harry.
Mm-hmm. Well,
And
the
then
thing of it is, I think that the boys, basically more they took after their mom. I think they
Right.
they took on the persona of their mother. So for me, it's like the way I look at them, they didn't really they weren't into the whole tradition and the monarchy. They're like, okay, we're prince, but we still want to be normal guys
okay, let's
because.
talk about King Charles. Let's talk about King Charles as of today or yesterday after she passed away.
Hmm.
He wasn't okay with them choosing like Princess Diana. That was put
Hmm.
together. That was
Right,
arranged. He was in
right.
love with who he's in love with now, who he married. So it's somewhere in there. But here's what's interesting. They said that side chicks is winning this year. Well, this decade, I guess.
Ooh. Oh.
Sips tea. Hey, look at Trump. You chilling, and then he was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead. Remember that's when it was like, oh yeah, with side creepy goes wrong, side chick go wrong. Like, I don't want to be the first lady. Wait a minute, what? I just wanted to be like, let's just chill.
Right.
Marry her, arm piece. Like, this is who you are now. This is what.
Well,
And so some people on the Twitters, the Black Twitters, was like, whose queen is she? Now here's the thing. They don't like the queen already. And now you mad that what's her is it Queen Camilla?
Camilla.
mhm.
Now the queen. She not even
No,
a
she's the
queen.
queen, what they consider queen consort.
Yeah,
She's
like the other one. Yeah, but
like
still the
Charlotte, so she's
queen.
not actually the queen, but just the consort and sits on the council or
Mhm.
whatever. Is
Hey,
she
listen,
married to the
queen.
king? Right. That's what I'm saying.
Listen, y'all know like how many times you've been on social media and everybody
Call a
happy
spade a
birthday
spade.
queen. Everybody calling everybody queen. So
Right.
let her get
I,
her queen.
it,
Let her get her queen without the queen consult or whoever.
Right. Like I
I
didn't
want to see.
understand
I
that.
want to
She
see how
married to
this
the
is
king.
going.
She the queen now.
Yeah, I want to see how this is going to turn out because this is going to be quite an interesting changing of the guard, I guess you would say. Now that Charles is going to be king, like, how will things be different? Will he do things different?
Now
Will
that's
he,
a good question, but
will
guess
he
what?
do things
So
the same?
now little Archie and what is it, Lila Bit, the
Mm-hmm.
babies, Megan's and Harry's people, those
Mm-hmm.
children, now they're like, they gotta call them like Your Highness because
Right.
it moved. They
Right.
moved up now. Before it was, I don't know what they were. And I was just a little confused with that. So help a sister out when it was it Prince, what's the brother?
William.
William. And
Mm-hmm.
His
his had
kid.
names, but Harry's didn't.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I didn't
I was
understand.
like, well, they're the same. Like, how does that work?
Yeah,
Is it
his
because he's the
kids were
oldest?
automatically when they had it. I
Because it's
guess
like
because
the
it,
lineage.
yeah,
So
if
it's like
something
you're the
happens to
head,
Charles,
you're the
then
oldest.
everything goes over to Prince William. So I
Yeah.
guess that's how the hierarchy. But guess what? You're the king. You're the queen. Could have changed everything at any time. Why? Because she was the queen.
But watch this. This is what I noticed in their family photos.
Mm-hmm.
None of the wives are in those, like their family photos.
Right.
And it made sense to me though. It made sense. I was like, oh yeah, because they could come and go, but here's the actual bloodline.
Right.
They had like, okay, you might divorce that person, they're not there, boom. And they had just the bloodline in the
Mm-hmm.
photos. I said, can we do that now? Because you always got somebody that want in the picture. I got a family reunion, you be there sitting there like boom, and then they be like, I want my wife in it. That's my wife. That's who I'm married to. Like, dude,
Uh,
we
I,
try to make history here so that the younger generation can see this is who I'm attached to versus
mm,
this person. Why can't we cooperate? Why can't we
because
be like the Baldwins? When the Baldwins say we wear white, everybody wear white.
of course, it's like this. That's you got to respect the code of the game. You know what I'm saying? It's like
I be talking about y'all all the time. They be like, "Oh, we wearing red." I be like, "Listen here,
right.
we wearing Baldwin white, not just a little bit of white with red." And
Right.
I didn't know we had a white, but okay, that's cool.
not when it's the colors we wearing black. Everybody coming in black. I said,
Well,
"Why
Right.
can't
Exactly.
cooperate?"
here's the thing with that.
The Baldwins be all.
Here's the thing with that. We just follow suit. Like, people always used to ask me about fashion and clothing and, where's my inspiration come from? It comes from my 92-year-old uncle, the head of that particular Baldwin clan, my Uncle Tom. He's one reason why. My mother's the other reason why. Because when he dresses, he dresses for real. Like he don't pull no punches. And it's like, and if your stuff ain't right, he gonna check you. So
Oh,
you better
okay.
be
Y'all
right.
got to go before Uncle Tom. Before
Nah, you don't have to go.
clear,
You,
you clear.
you, you don't have to go before him, but he gonna give you the word. All right, like when he's at the party, like you really do walk up and you do speak to him, and his word is all right, huh?
That's good. But see,
Yeah,
like when y'all have something, it's like, okay, every time you see the Baldwins, and if it's a color code,
yeah.
everybody's cooperating.
Of course, that's
Then
the that's
you
that's
have
our way.
somebody in my family be like, okay, the color is red. They
Mm-hmm.
might have like a red dot on their shoe and wear what they want. I'm like, how come we just can't cooperate? Like
Right.
this is what it's supposed to be. Come on.
Like
Because
they'll wear a different color that
Like the
coincides and
Baldwins,
have
like
red
we just
shoes or
cooperate.
something with the
because
purse
a lot of times what
accessories.
people do because white is sometimes a very very tough color to find. So
That was just an example. That was just an example I was
yeah,
using.
I know, but you got to just search high and low. But yeah, that's what we do. We believe in, if we gonna rock it, if white is the color, then we gonna rock white.
And I respect that. You know why I respect it? Because it's clear that y'all respecting whoever's party it is.
No doubt.
What they ask for, this is what we gonna do.
Exactly.
A lot of people just don't be cooperative. They wearing what they want. Like, this is what I got. This is what I'm wearing. And it's like, okay, but man,
yeah,
can we do right? Like,
that's just a part of us. Fashion is a part of our family. That's
clearly
that's a part of what we do. People would come to the parties just to see we rock, and so that's just who we are. Like I said, we just fall in line and and rock what we're supposed to rock. I mean,
yes, I'm gonna tell you a quick story before we get into this real quick.
Right.
It was a Baldwin that was my little boyfriend back in high school. We go, I'll say the name, you already know. And I'm sitting there, boom, dressed every day. Dressed every single day. So, and anybody that knew me, I always hung around the guys, and we used to just crack boom. They'd be like, "Oh man, they go, your boyfriend, he dressed in his suit, he got his suits on," and I'm chill with the fad, stuff like what we got, boom. So I'm over here hip hop, he dressed all up. It was so weird though.
Right.
This one particular day, I'm getting off the bus. My homeboy Bucci, Nick Carter, he was like, "Mel, I seen your boyfriend." He was like, "Yeah, he got on a green 3-piece tweed suit." Now, right. So here's the thing. Why am I believing Bucci of all people? But
Bucci is a silly cat, man.
Watch this though. And I'm sitting there and I'm imagining a green 3-piece tweed suit. So my boyfriend, he is such a sweetheart. I don't want to laugh. It is in my mind is this green 3-piece tweed suit. Like, oh my gosh, what is he doing with a tweed suit? So the green, the green is going with the tweed in the color. Like, I'm like, what? Tweed? So the entire day, it was about 7:15 in the morning. The entire day, I dodged him. Because I used to ask him, I'm like, how come you don't wear like jeans or anything like that? Right. And he said, and here's the thing. So I'm on the phone with him like before. He was like, I'm going to surprise you tomorrow. I said, okay. So Bucci had no idea of this conversation the day before that he going to surprise me that night. So when I see Bucci, he's talking about, I see your boy, he got on a green 3-piece tweed suit. I'm thinking, no, this can't be the surprise. Dodged him all day. He didn't think I went to school. When I seen him at 3:15, he's like, I didn't see you all day. I was trying to find you. He had on a pair of Stonewash jeans. I was so mad at Bucci. Oh. And then I told him he was rolling. He was like, what? I said, yeah, that's why I was dodging you, because I didn't want to laugh, because I know I can't hold it. Like, what is that? Oh, God.
Like I said, for us, fashion has always been a part of our family. We've always been. So, and that's just who we are, like I said, we know for fashion, if it's called for the color white, we rock white. If it's red, it's blue.
I appreciate that. And that's how we need to be. But that's why I'm saying the old switch and bait. People will sit there and they'll be like, oh, okay, well, that's what it's going to be. All right, I got you. I'm coming. And soup you all up. You're like, okay. And then you're going to come and play the game. Quit playing. And that's how I feel with, let me get back on topic with the whole Meghan Markle. You knew who he was. You knew what it was going to entail. And then you get into it and then you switch. And you're like, okay, it's not what I thought it was going to be. So I want out. Do you think that's right? I mean, from that perspective. And then I'm going to give you some live examples.
I really don't. Because I feel like, if you know that they are all about, if you know that, the country that you're in, and you know that they are the royal family, and you know what their tradition and what they consist of, and they've had that tradition for hundreds of years.
Right.
Then you turn around and you want to become a part of that world, you know, and then all of a sudden, once you become a part of it, then you really, really, really get the insight of what it consists of, because you thought it was going to be this way and it ends up that way. I mean, I feel like, nah, I feel like she's not right for getting in it and then changing her mind. You know what I'm saying? And then,
Okay,
you know,
let me hear from Nick real quick. Go ahead. What's your thoughts, Nick?
I feel like this. They were dating long enough for her to ask enough questions, and even if she wasn't able to get as close as she wanted to, which I doubt that very seriously, they were dating long enough, so you knew what it was when you
It was
decided
groomed.
to say "I do."
hmm
Period. You knew what it was.
yeah,
So yeah, if that's not a lifestyle you wanted to do, that should have been discussed beforehand.
it should have been.
I'm sure it was, and they groom you. Because remember, she had
Exactly.
the whole wedding and everything she had to be groomed for. Now let's talk
Exactly.
about this. This scenario. So you marry someone, they have children.
hmm
You know, you marry someone who's been previously married, they have children. And 2 weeks after you get married, the ex-wife dropped the children off with the father and his new wife, and she bounced. Like done, like no visitation or nothing. So here you go, these are your children, now you have a new wife, here you go, y'all raise them. Do you think that's the switch and bait? I
I
mean the
think
bait and
so.
switch.
I think so. I feel like, you know, when you have children, that's a package deal, you know, and for her to just bounce on the kids, I feel that that is not right, you know, because they're your kids first. You know what I'm saying? They're the mothers, you know, you all
But
birthed them.
they're the fathers as well.
Right,
So
but I'm saying you all birthed the kids, you know, the mother is the first, you all are the first sign, you know what I mean, as far as a child. You all comfort the kids, you all are
they came
traditionally
from, but it's
from
the
you
same
all.
relation. It's the same relation though. Relationship. Think about it.
Nah,
It's not so much the
no,
relationship, it's the fact that you carried that
right,
child for 9 months in your womb. So
right.
it's a different type of relationship with the
Yes, it
mother
is.
than it is with the father. Of
Yeah.
course, their relationship is strong too, but because
hmm
you carried that child,
Right.
everything that you ate and took in nourished that child for those nine, some
So
people.
it's not okay for a mother to drop her children off, but it's okay
No,
for a father to drop their children off.
No,
It's 50
no,
50.
it's
I don't think so.
50-50, but like to not have any for both of y'all to just go on about your business, not have any contact, no nothing. No, that's wrong. It really
Yeah,
is. Because
I
then
believe it's wrong,
everybody's not a parent.
because then you don't think about the child and how it affects the child, because the child is the most important thing. See, when we get into children, that's just, you know, that's a subject I take very sensitive, because I feel like, you know, as the saying goes, you know, a child is not asked to come into this world, you know. And the thing of it is that when it comes to children, it's like, you know, hey, you have to understand the responsibility of being a parent, and
Okay,
that
now
is
watch this because we going off. I just wanted to ask that question.
okay.
Here's the situation. So I'm going to use me because it's easier to explain. I marry a guy who has children.
hmm
The mother has the children. So we get married. Then 2 weeks after we get married, that mother drops the children off. So I'm an instant mother. Drops them off with the dad. Now I was asking, do you believe that is that a bait and switch? Because to me, it sounded like it was planned.
hmm
It's like, wait, 2 weeks, you just go drop off and be like, okay, I'm out. Like, what happened to, especially if you're in, like Nick was saying with Megan, you dated for a while. So
hmm
you understand the every other weekend or the visitations, you're okay with that.
hmm
But to be like, here you go, and now you're a full-time mother, to me, I was like, is that planned? Was that planned? Like, what the heck? Or
Right.
if not playing with the husband, probably was playing with the ex-wife and her people.
Could be. I feel like I feel like it's still wrong because you shouldn't just throw somebody in that situation. You know, that's just sound like some straight baby mama drama to me. I mean, it's like, why would you just take your kids and just drop them off without any,
Ain't no baby mama drama. She said the mama out. But watch this. Is it wrong if I decide to leave him?
I would think so.
So you okay, Nick? Go ahead. Now we got a conversation. Do you think it's wrong if the new wife decide to leave? Yes or no? Come on now, it ain't that hard.
No.
Forget correct.
No.
Okay.
I think it's wrong because it's a package deal. Because if she knew he had kids, then like
every other weekend.
It's not a package deal. I mean, yes, it's a package deal, but you did not know that you were going to be raising them full time. So yeah, that's if that was discussed ahead of time again, yeah. But yeah, just for baby mama to drop him off just because she mad because you got remarried and that's the only, and she, especially if she don't like the new wife, oh, she did it on purpose.
Yeah, of course.
Did it on purpose.
Of course, but I don't think it's cool that you would leave the man that you just married because of that. If you love that man, I think that y'all would figure out somehow some way to work it out. I mean,
how?
Listen.
Okay, watch this. Let's go get a little deeper.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's go get a little deeper. Let's say the child is a special needs child, 24-hour care.
See, now that puts a whole different spin on it because, you know, if a child has a need, but, you know, yet and still, I think that, you know, that's something that could be worked out. I mean, you know, from.
Okay, Nick. He said he thinks it could be something that could be worked out. What's your thoughts?
That's putting too much of a strain. I mean, you can stay and try, but if you tried and you can't handle it, there's nothing wrong with letting go.
But the key word he said is that you try. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's like
try.
Nothing beats a try. You know, so for me, it's like, you know, you're right. You can try. If it doesn't work.
2 weeks in.
Oh, well, dang. 2
weeks.
Wait a minute. So you threw a whole monkey wrench in there because
right. 2 weeks.
2 weeks. You just,
it was only 2 weeks.
I didn't say that. I said that at the beginning. 2 weeks.
I didn't hear 2 weeks. I'm sorry. I didn't hear that part.
Married for 2 weeks. And then boom. That's why I said it had to be a plan. Like, that sounds like the old bait and switch. Here, girl, this is how it's gonna be. You dating, everything is copacetic, and then all of a sudden, bam, 2 weeks. Once you get in, you done sold me this dream, and I'm coming in, and I'm like, whoa, wait a second. And that's why I was like, is it a bad thing? And I wanted to put that in there as far as like a special needs child, because that then you look at, you know, pulls at your heartstrings. It's like, okay, like, do I walk out on? I mean, you shouldn't walk out on any children, but I'm walking.
But that changes the whole game. I didn't hear the 2 weeks. I didn't hear the 2 weeks part. You know what I mean? So it's like
it sounded like it was a plan. That sounded like it was a plan.
Of course. I mean, of course, that's the plan. I mean, because for you to know that person got married and then all of a sudden say, hey, let me just throw this whole monkey wrench in your world. I mean, of course, that's a plan. You know, that's a whole setup.
Baby mama did it on purpose.
She did it on purpose.
But you know what now let's look at it from this perspective. So the ex-wife, it's a difference between a baby mama and an ex-wife. I got to put that out there because somebody called me that. Yeah, they was like, oh, I didn't know you were so-and-so's baby mama. I was like, I'm his ex-wife.
First of all, I don't like that term.
Me either. That's why I was like, let me say that. I was like, there's a difference.
I feel like this.
Let's stay on topic here. So the mother, the ex-wife, I'm looking at it as she knew if you have a child and it's a special needs child, it's like, okay, I'm here. And, you know, what about my freedom, my dreams? Like, finally, I get to get a break. That's what this is from that side. not saying it's okay, but it's like, oh, okay, he married this person, and clearly you know that she's a great person if you're gonna sit there and give your child to, the father and for her. But we know it's unfair. We're clear on that. It's unfair to just put that on somebody like that. But the mother is like, boom, finally, here you go. You got some help. I'm out and I'm living my best life, but cut hers off. That's why I said I'd be leaving. I would leave. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because if I looked at this and I have my dreams that I have, and it's like there's things that I want to do, and I know ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
And see, that's the key. I know ahead of time that if this was the situation, we will be very good friends, but that's not what I'm trying to do with my life. Do I think that's selfish? No, not when it's your life and you can make that conscious decision. But when you don't know and you step into it, it's like, oh, wait, what happened? Almost the same. And I know this is very different, but with the whole bait and switch, they date you, wine you, dine you, and then you get into the relationship and you be like, okay, I do. And then it's something totally different. And you find out that that person is not who you married.
Mm-hmm.
And you leave. Or they be like, oh, no, it's for better or for worse. Can we get some better first?
Mm-hmm.
Right. You haven't had a chance to experience the better. It just went from
2 weeks is the honeymoon stage, so you're still in that kind of stage.
It went from fun to worse.
Right.
And then he woke up, and then she woke up, So what's your thoughts? Like, when is too early to ask those questions regarding?
Never, ever.
It's never too early because communication is important. That's the number one factor when dating someone is to communicate.
Listen, with the first marriage, I got that dose of reality. It wasn't 2 weeks; it was a little bit longer. I got a couple, at least a month and a half, and boom. And it wasn't the mama; it was the husband. He went, got my stepson, and took him back. We took him. We came home to visit, and went back with a child.
Okay, now here's the thing. Now, I don't know the situation there, and I don't even want you to go into it because we got to protect ourselves. Okay, we don't want no issues. Now that right there, yeah, you guys should have had a conversation, but he went. So you don't know what the circumstances were. So that's a different thing. And I hear you because you're on the other side, and I want your point. I want your view on that. But when the person that you're connected to is like, oh, okay, this is what we're gonna do. So he said, this is your life, pretty much. He's like, oh, here you go, come pick this up. This is your life.
Over the weekend, and we were home. That's it. That's all.
What was your thoughts?
Girl, I was pissed. Like, dude, we still honeymooning. What you doing?
So there was no conversation?
None. Nada.
Okay.
You said this is his son, or this is a stepson?
No, this was his son, my stepson.
Okay.
And then the thing is, you pick up your son from where he was being taken care of, pick him up, bring him back with us, tell this is what we're gonna do, bring him back. I'm unaware of anything on the way home. And we get there the whole weekend. Nobody said anything till we were coming back. You didn't say anything. But then we get back home, and who raised your child?
Okay.
For the few months that we did have him.
Let me ask you this.
It wasn't daddy.
Let me ask you this. So he didn't pick the child up from the mother?
No.
Okay, see, that's what I'm saying. Okay, that's different. So the mother's not raising the child. Okay, so I can see that a little bit. That's different from the mother having the child.
But male.
No. Hear me. I understand your point, but I'm saying from a mother having a child and dropping the child off versus if the child is in a bad situation or somebody else is raising the child besides the actual parent. I believe that the father, this is what you do. Now, I don't think it was right how it came to you, because it's like, oh, wait. So he just made you, there you are instant, you're a stepmother, but you are a 24-hour, you are now mom. So it sounds like you were going to say that he disappeared too. So you were there, you were the mother. So your life stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah,
My
that's
stepson, yes, and my stepson, when he got older, he let his mother know, and she and I are cool, very cool now. And she always, even when I see her, whenever I see her now, thank you because you helped raise my son.
and
You
that's
you
a thing now. I'm noticing that that's a thing now that you have parents, and I'm not talking about your situation, so let's be clear to protect myself too. But I do see where there are like step parents that are no longer married to that person, that they're raising other folks' children and they're living their best life.
hmm
I see that so often, and it's like, okay, you living your best life. There's the father over there with somebody else. There's the mother with somebody else, and the child is here. I'm like, where's the responsibility? When are they held accountable? And then,
That's that's sad when you're not raising your own kid. I'm just gonna say it. Whatever the case scenario may be,
I mean,
no
he
matter
was
how
in the
deep it is.
army, but he also let the
you
nightlife
can't give
keep
all that
up.
detail, Nick. I can't. I got to
Okay.
cover myself because they can sue. That's easy. I'm like, let me just put it out there. They can sue.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta be. Yeah, you gotta be a little bit evasive.
Yeah, but that nightlife got to him too down there having fun and
Okay, well,
everything
he's not
else.
here to defend himself, so we ain't gonna worry about that. We okay. But what I'm trying to say is the old bait and switch. When when I ask the question, when is it too early to ask those questions? And Art, you said it's never too early.
It's never too early because the simple fact of the matter is, if you're dating someone, communication is key. You need to know every aspect of that person. You need to definitely talk to them about everything
Yep. I think we lost him. He gotta do something, switch turn, do something else. When you ask those questions, some people might turn away. What's your thoughts, Nick?
No, because I mean, in order to, like you got to ask questions to know what you're getting into. You got to, and if that person doesn't understand where you're coming from,
Uh-huh.
especially if they want you to understand where they're coming from,
Uh-huh.
then yeah, it's good for everybody to just advertise early. Just okay, you don't want me asking questions, okay, fine, but you want me to understand your situation. It ain't gonna work. Not
But
gonna
some
work.
people feel like, okay, well, she asking me all these questions, it'll run me off. What's your thoughts?
Well, then it wasn't gonna work in the first place.
Okay.
If that's how you feel, it'll run me off because my thing is, you want me to understand your situation and not ask you questions, but you don't want to understand where I'm coming from and why I'm asking questions. Then it's gonna be a one-sided relationship. Period. Point blank. End of conversation. That's how it's gonna be throughout the relationship.
Okay. So first dinner, and you'd be like, okay, I'm ready to get married. Is that too soon?
Oh yeah.
way
Is
Come
it?
too
on now.
soon.
Yeah.
Way
The
too
first.
Way
soon.
too soon?
Way too soon.
Yeah.
I
The
mean, you
first.
don't
The first
even.
dinner. Yeah. That's way too soon.
Wait. I'm not saying to that person. I'm just saying where you are.
Yeah. That's too soon. Still.
Way too
Not the
soon.
first. Not the first dinner. That's
Well, what are you looking for? I'm ready to get married. That's too soon?
That's too soon. I mean, like, you don't even know what their favorite food is yet. You don't even know
right.
what their favorite color is. See, to me, I think that communication, like I was saying earlier, you have to find out every aspect of a person, before, like,
So do
is
the homework.
me. You got to talk first. You got to talk about everything.
But that's
hmm
a conversation.
But
So
that's a conversation that's
It
too
scares a
soon.
lot of people.
over
That'll
40.
push somebody away.
So
Exactly.
here's the thing. If your intent is to get married, so do you just sit there, date the person, have a good time, and then switch and be like, oh, I'm ready to get married? But you didn't tell me that at the very beginning. Versus sitting there, because if I know off top, if it's like, okay, well, this person's ready to settle down and ready to, and at this age, they probably already been married or ready to remarry. So they told me, boom, right there, I'm ready. I'm looking for a wife. That's what they said. I'm
Hmm.
looking to be married.
Hmm.
So okay, is this going to be the first date or the
Or the
last? The
last.
first of many or the last? Because if you are not ready to be settled down and married, see, I'm going to be honest with you. You can't settle down with me. Either it is or it's not, or we just cool, have an understanding. So I'm like, tell me everything so I can be okay. You know what I mean? And I can know and be clear and say, oh, okay, so this person looking to get married. Am I ready to get married right now? Oh, no, I'm not. So, okay, we could be cool. So you know what compartment to put them in. Be
I
like,
guess you can say it's different. It's different strokes for different folks. It depends on what you're looking for.
It's too early. I appreciate the honesty. Both of you guys said that's too early.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it depends on where you're at in your life. I mean, you have some people that are ready to be married. You have some people that, they're trying to date first. They're trying to get to know the person first before they actually talk about marriage, you know, but the way things are in this life now, I mean, everything is so different. A lot of people have stepped away from traditional dating and just kind of like, jump into whatever.
Purpose. Is something wrong with dating with a purpose?
There's nothing wrong with dating with a purpose. If you have a purpose that you want to be married and settle down, then that's fine. But I feel like make sure that person that you're talking to has the same mentality that you have. Because if you don't, then basically it's like that's a waste of your time. Uh-oh, Nick got her finger up.
Go ahead, Nick. I want to hear.
Go ahead, Nick.
You, darling.
That don't always work
What's
because
that?
you can, like you said, dating with the purpose, and you let that person know your purpose, and they can be like, yeah, that's what I want. Lies.
Dating switch.
Lies. Lies. Lies, and more lies.
But are they saying that just to continue being in your company? That's something that you got to really think about. I just feel like, when you and I'm just pulling a number over 40 and not, younger, yeah, you be like, oh, hold up, wait a minute, I'm trying to live my life and whoop-de-woo. Over 40, let me ask this first to you, Art. Does this still stand? Marriage for women is the beginning. Marriage for men is the end. Like women starting their lives once they get married and men ending their fun time. You know what I mean? Is that still a thing or no? Do you look at it?
I've never even heard it put that way. So, this is a new one to me. I'm like, that's the first time I've ever heard that being said. I'm gonna say it's like this. Yeah, I'll put it from my opinion. My opinion is like, yes, for a single man, yeah, that's it is an end all for men that are getting married, because you're supposed to be settling down with one person,
In other words, they think with the wrong head.
Well,
I mean, seriously, because you're thinking with the wrong head. Yes, ma'am, the church finger. You're thinking with the wrong head. I mean, because like clearly get married. Listen, I'm not trying to stop. Well, certain fun, like like for a single man, if you still want to go out with your friends, go out with your friends. You want your friends to come hang out, watch the games. I don't care. I don't care. But yeah, but if you thinking that okay, I can't hide the sausage in it no more with so or this one or that one, dude. Why are you trying to get married then if that's how you feel?
Not that's a different perspective. I wasn't even looking at that side. That's why I say over 40. And I'm sorry, guys. Some of y'all stuff don't work. Some of it still do. Not I say some, Art. I say some. I ain't say nothing about Art.
I ain't said nothing. I just looked. I'm like, hey,
Listen, audience. He looked like, he gave me a side eye. Like, hold up.
They got medication. They got medication and vitamins for that now. So hey.
But this is what I'm.
That's a whole nother topic right there. That's a whole nother topic.
Wait, no.
That's real.
Hey, listen. No, that's a bait and switch too. That's a bait and switch too. Oh yeah, they come sit there, chill, boom. You don't know they with the little blue pill, whatever pill they got. Talking about oh, this is for my hair to grow because you know it helps. Viagra helps with hair growth too.
I didn't know that.
Okay. That's the nurse in me. Just came
well,
out.
the thing of it is that
let me finish. Let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
From the beginning, all is well. Like this is it. Boom, boom, boom. And then once you there, that you don't know they got a problem. And you're like, well, what happened? And then we as females have the tendency to, oh God, no, nobody didn't say no gas station pill.
Gas station pills work. They do work. I've heard stories that they do work. I said, notice I said I've heard stories.
Okay, but wait. So you sit there and as a female, you're like, okay, is he out there with somebody else, as Nick will put it, hiding the sausage somewhere else? And that might not be it. It may be some other type of issue, like some medical issue, like high blood pressure, diabetes, those type things. You know what I mean? That could cause an issue. But I think in the beginning, I'm gonna reel it back in. At the beginning, I think those are things. Is it too soon to ask, hey, your joint work? Or would that come like, oh, she here?
Listen, the thing of it is, after you turn a certain age, after 50, your body does change. So from your perspective,
come back to the table. Let's come back to the table.
Okay, but
soon to talk about sex over 40. This is not for my young people. So if you got young people, go sit down somewhere. Go watch Sing 2 or something. But for as an adult, you're sitting down at the table. Do you bring that up on the first date, or is that too soon?
I mean, I feel like no question is a dumb question. It's like you ask what you want to ask. You know what you want to know. Let's go. Let's say this here. We know how you roll. We know that you are an inquisitive, inquiring mind that wants to know. So I feel like if you're trying to date somebody, you interested in that person, you trying to be with that person, there is no question that you should not ask. You know, yeah, does it work? Yeah, you know, I think there's nothing to be embarrassed about. If you trying to be with that person,
over 40, yeah, mature conversation.
Especially after you're over 40, because the body does change after 50. You know what I'm saying? So from a male perspective, yeah, your body loses a certain amount of testosterone. So you have to somehow replace that testosterone, whether it be vitamin, whether it be Viagra. They have things out there that does help that. So, you know, coming from a male perspective, yeah, it does change. Yeah, you do lose a certain amount of energy because of your testosterone, but with exercise and certain vitamins, it does help that, you know, for that particular, you know, dysfunction disorder or that, you know, loss of stamina. So they have.
Go to the comments.
Mrs. Dimple said, my thing is tell me everything. That way I can decide if I want to deal with your BS or not. Thank you, especially when it comes to that, because listen, at our age, yeah, I still want it. And if it don't work, please let me know so I can move to the next, move left, something.
But the thing of it is, they do have vitamins for that. They do have.
I had a friend and them vitamins didn't work. That was over 50. It did not work. I was mad. So yeah, they don't work for everybody. They don't work for everybody. I mean, did he do other things?
Y'all know me, yes, real. I'm so grateful. I had to sip tea. I'm so grateful she ain't say the name.
Oh no. Did he compensate for that not working? Yes, he did very well. But I got tired of that. I want to get poked, man.
Okay.
Look at our face.
I'm just saying.
Wait. Did the camera freeze or
it froze for a minute? He's just like, I want to get poked. I'm like, all righty.
It froze on the right part, right?
Yeah, right. It was just like.
But I'm just saying though, like after a while, we got to do something. You better buy a strap on or something. Like,
well, I feel like this: when you find a woman that does have a high sex drive, you have to compensate. You gotta huh?
I said okay.
When you find a woman that has a high sex drive, you have to be able to keep up. Because if you can't keep up, then hey, you know, going back to the question that you asked earlier, can you keep up? You know, hey, does it work? There's nothing wrong with asking that.
Holla said We love Holla. Holla said exercise give you a long. She said sex give you a long life. So it's
Yes,
a
it
lot of
does.
exercise.
Yes, it is. It does.
Longevity, people.
Yeah. You burn good calories.
Okay, how about that?
But yeah, with exercise and vitamins and things. Go ahead.
How about, okay, from a male's perspective, if a female or it's married, let's put that out there. From a female's perspective, okay, we sitting across from the table, right? Sitting across the table from each other. If I was to ask you a question like that, would that be a turn on or a turn off?
What's the question?
Man, we just talked about it for about 10 minutes. Your joint work or
not? Is that a turn off or is that a turn on?
Well, not even on, but would it be a turn off if a chick was direct, like I'm very direct?
I don't think so. I mean, for me, I'm built different. You know what I'm saying? So it's like to ask, to ask those questions.
From a guy, from your homeboys. Let's talk from your crew and the people in your crew collectively. Would you get that being a turn off? Or would you think she's just trying to have sex with you and that's it, No,
I mean, there's nothing wrong with asking that type of question. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like I said, you want to know every aspect, So yeah, I mean, does it work? Don't it work? Do you have a half sex drive? I mean, those are questions that you should ask. Like I said, communication is key. You want to know what this person is about. If you don't know this person, then you're going to want to ask all the right questions. You know what I'm saying? Because you're trying to learn about this person. You're trying to see if this person is for you, if you're interested. I feel like, hey, there's no bad question. Communication is key. You got to know ahead of time.
And I agree. And I keep saying over 40 because here's the deal. You have, we're older. So us being older, I don't have, and I don't want to sound rude, but it's the truth. Just tell me what I need to know. Tell me the importance, just like what Mrs. Dimple said. Like, let me know if I want to deal with this. Fast forward this so I don't have to sit here and find all this stuff out. Yeah, I want the Clef notes. Okay. Right. All this stuff about you that'd be like, okay, I don't even like this person anyway. So now I've wasted how many more years? You know what I'm saying? And the reason I say that is because I said it. Usually at this age, you've already been married, you know what I mean? So you may have been divorced and it's like, okay, now I know what I'm going to put up with and I know what I'm not going to put up with. And do I really want to get out there? There are so many single people out there that prefer to be single because they don't want to deal with it. And they're looking at, okay, being married or being a wife is you want me to sit at home, bake cookies and take care of you while you work and you want me to work because that's what's happening right now. Both people are working, but for some unknown reason, the husband or the man want to sit down when he get off work, but the wife is still working. So she get off work and she's constantly working all through the day. Okay, now I got to cook for you. You want me to bring this to you? You want me to do that? And it's like, well, I want my wife. Well, do you want me to work too? Like, come on. And a lot of, I've noticed, a lot of females remain single. And it's not because they can't find a guy, because they still want to live and they still have dreams that they want to conquer.
Well, some people don't want to be bogged down with that, with that lifestyle, and everybody has different, as I like to call the equation, everybody has different aspects between their 2 and their 4. So the equation is between their 2 sheets and between their 4 walls, so it's like, I feel like, to me, it's a 50-50 thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I feel like, hey, just because she cooked don't mean that you shouldn't cook. You know what I mean? I feel like it should be both. It shouldn't be a one-sided thing. You know what I mean? I feel like everybody should chip in,
Yeah, I get that if both people are definitely, outside the house working, but that just seems to be the thing. Right. It's like, okay, you want me to continue going on and on and on. Now, let's talk about this other thing, why women prefer to be single. Some of their married friends say that they are married and lonely. Now, let's speak to that, being married and being lonely. What do you think, Nick? Female, come on, you chime in.
Hmm.
Situations being married.
I think it is a rough one for Nick today. I'm just gonna say
Look at her.
that.
She go to her inner self.
Yeah,
Right.
she channeling, she trying to she feeling some things.
Yes, you
But do you
can.
understand that? Because this is a comment I got
Oh,
right
I
here.
understand that very well. Um.
I didn't know that was like a thing.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and it's crazy because with number one and present, like
Yeah, don't
it's
name the people, but explain that because that was one of
they're
the comments.
selfish. They are very selfish because you are told when you say I do, it is said, especially if you go to the church to do it. Come on, somebody.
Amen.
What we ain't manning for? She ain't even saying nothing. Quit acting like Bishop
When you
Whitehead.
get
Well, you
married,
know how I go in church when they say, "Come
right?
on, somebody," you
When
follow
you
suit.
get married, you are supposed to cling to your wife.
Right.
You're
Okay,
supposed to cling to your wife.
Hmm.
And it's also said, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, sickness and health,
let's
you're
stay
supposed to
focused. Let's stay
be.
focused.
But
Let's
no, I'm just saying that's all leading up to that. Why would you marry somebody to abandon them in your marriage?
bait and switch.
If there's an issue and this person is asking you what is the issue, you don't sit there and not say a word or ain't nothing wrong or won't open your freaking mouth, but you want to tell your mama, you want to tell your friends, you want to everything else, and instead of talking to the person that you sleep with every night. That's
What?
an
You
issue.
tell them that you lonely? Well, how can you talk to them if they're not there?
If they're not there, exactly. I mean, and you can't see. It's like they don't want to hear when you're talking to them. I don't always be
Okay.
wanting to hear that. You know what I mean? That's being lonely. You're trying to communicate with this person and let them know what's going on and ask questions, but they want to feel like that you want to argue. Dude, like, yeah, it's going to be sound like an argument because I'm letting you know what is upsetting me, with what's not working, what if we going to progress forward, what needs to be done. Like, and I'm asking you, what is it that you expected me, what do you want me to do? This is not work, this right here isn't working. Like, I'm trying to progress with you, grow old together, be successful together. But you can't just sit there. It'd be like talking to a brick wall. Like, so yeah, you
So
feel
that's what the
lonely.
whole being married and being lonely is. Okay, thank you, caller. I appreciate that. If you want to chime in on this conversation, feel free to do so. The phone number here is 619-902-2287, 619-902-2287, or text 619-902-2287. Okay, because I was like, okay, let me understand this. So that would be being married and being lonely. And see, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, they're not there. Like, you're married. It's like, okay, this is what I have, but my life, my life is become their life, and then now they're not there. I want to go to the comment. We go together, Theo. I'm joking. Theo from Facebook said, cling to your spouse doesn't mean be clingy.
Oh
Okay.
no, and that's not what I was meaning. Yeah,
Okay.
but you do have some of those that are very clingy as
Well,
well.
listen, they can't say they lonely.
But the thing of it
Right.
is,
Wait,
Yeah.
let me hear Art. Go ahead.
the thing of it is when they say cling to your wife, it's basically like means like you all are supposed to basically cling to each other, and it's about you all. It's not about your parents, your mama, your sister, your brother, your best friend. It's about you all building a life together. That's the biggest thing. So what happens is a lot of times people miss that boat, men and women. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times they don't understand that, okay, you're supposed to talk, you're supposed to share, you're supposed to express. A lot of times, yeah, it is rough, when you are not used to doing that. But, you know, I can understand from certain aspects that, some people don't know how to communicate. Some people don't know how to traditionally, you know, really understand what it means to cling to that person. You know what I'm saying? And it just basically means that you all are it's work. Marriage is work. So it's like you're supposed to work together, and sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't.
But
Like I
come
said,
on, but after
everybody
7
goes
years,
through something.
Girl, what you
after
say?
7 years, after 7 years, I this is new to me. This is my first time being married, dude. We've been married for 7 years. Stop using that excuse.
Oh, this is
Yes, you did.
personal. Like Igor said, this is personal.
Right. This is
Okay.
personal. This is personal for her today. I mean, I see it in her eyes, it's heavy, you know. And I understand why. So, but as far as it goes, like I said, it's like you got to make sure that you know what you want. That's the biggest thing.
Thank
And
you.
that's a lot of times
Exactly.
what people miss. They miss the fact that you got to be sure. And are you sure? And are you sure again? Because sometimes, you got to ask that question. Are you sure this is what you want to do? And for me, I had an idea years ago. And the idea was basically I was doing modeling for a agency and I was doing a wedding expo and I was modeling in the wedding. And
Okay.
I kind of walked around the whole facility looking at everything and it just was like, yo, I don't see one thing. So I came up with this crazy idea to whereas you to have a booth that says, are you sure? Do you really want to do this? Is this for you? And just basically have like a questionnaire for them both to answer to make sure are
Oh,
they sure?
man, women will. Let me tell you something. If that was at a wedding expo, or like like you said, the modeling, usually like the tuxedo spots and the wedding gowns,
Right.
those type of expos. If it was one of those over there, you know how many women will shut that booth down? Like, if you don't go ahead, I finally got them to say yes.
Real quick.
I told them
But,
to say yes.
but
Real
here's the
quick.
thing.
Are you
But,
sure? Now
but
he like, I'm out.
here's the thing.
Let me give these stats real quick. I
Go
gotta
ahead.
give you guys the stats. The stats on singles now, actually, 2022 is 48.2% of single people wanting to be single.
Mm-hmm.
48.2% would prefer to be single.
Mm,
Isn't that something?
that is.
That's something. Most are women. I was like, what happened? Because that was like a thing. Yeah, you wanted to grow up, you wanted to get married. This is what we're gonna do. Ba 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 ba.
Well, with today's society, the way society has changed, it's not everything's not traditional anymore. It's a rarity that you see tradition. It's like, with technology, everything has like changed up a lot of different things, and a lot of times, people are, like you said, living their best lives. If you look on Instagram, you got, people that's making money off of fans only, and they have so many new sexualities. It ain't funny. I mean, like I ain't never heard of pen and
Oh,
they
pansexuals and stuff.
doing and all these. Then you have, like I said, you have the whole, everybody getting into the whole different thing with, being, three people being together, things of that nature. So it's like
You said the whole threesomes,
not threesomes. I'm talking about what do they call it now?
orgies. We used to call them orgies. Orgy
Not
parties.
not orgies. What is it when it's two people when it's three people in a relationship when it's two women and a guy? What do they call that? I'm sorry, I can't. The word loses me.
Three.
Uh, okay,
But
we
I
gonna
know
keep
what
it
you
on
mean.
two.
I can't think of the name, the
Three's
actual.
company.
Huh?
Three's company.
Yeah, well, Three's Company. But
Because I ain't for that at all. For none of
but
this.
what I'm
What?
saying is that you have people that are, like I said, with society changing so much, You know what I'm saying? It's not the traditional things anymore. You know, it's totally different.
Is it poly? Is that the word you're looking for?
Yeah, poly. Yeah, the poly. You know, because you got people that are into that now. You know, people are. You got.
Married. You could be married and into it if both of you guys are in it, if that's what you want to do. I want to go up to what this comment said here, because if you're sitting at the table on the first date, and this is for me, this comment is from Theo from Facebook. First, I and you must be good individually before we can be good together as one. I agree with that.
No doubt.
And let me tell you why. If I'm sitting at a table and we're having this conversation, and in the conversation, you ask, some people ask what happened to their last relationship. I don't, unless like you want to talk about it, boom, but I don't. I'm going to meet you. I already did my background check. Let's be real. Because I do that before we even sit down, because I don't want to be sitting across from the killer.
Yes, we know you have.
Access.
That's just you. Yeah. Got the plug on it. Got the plug on it. You know, that's you.
So you had a conversation, and then if it's a sad conversation and you hear all of this, I look and I'm like, dang, that's tragic. That's some tragedy. And then I know going in, see, this is a going in tragedy. And if the entire conversation is tragedy, I already know this relationship is going to be tragic. This relationship is going to be a lot of work for me, because guess what? I'm going to constantly feel like I have to lift you up. Where's your happy? So I'm glad that Theo did actually put that there. Yeah, both of you guys got to be good. So if you have that, and I hate to call it baggage, but if something broke you from before, or you're broken from some issues that happened to you in your childhood, and you're over 40, I'm not your girl, because I'm not a counselor.
Well, I feel like you
don't want to get therapy, because there's a lot of broken grown men out there that don't want to get therapy, and some people look at them as being a narcissist.
This is true. I mean, and you know what? The mental trauma that people go through does affect their lives in a lot of ways, and especially when it comes to relationships and dealing with other people, you know. And you're absolutely $1,000,000,000% right. We, as I'm gonna say, we as Black folks shy away from therapy, and we do not realize that the mind can be just like catching a cold. You know, it's like it can get sick too. Absolutely. And it needs therapy, and it needs healing too. So yes, I was just talking about therapy to my good friend and my partner, and it's like everybody needs therapy. I'm gonna say it, because everybody's infected in one way or another, you know, and that's something that's important. It's like we need mental health is the most important thing, because the mind affects the rest of the body. And now, if you're mentally there, then that's a problem.
I've been accused of being a runner. Everything, they be like,
all right, want to run away, Bride?
Like, she's a runner, she's a track star. Listen, right. We was having the conversation that we're having today, and it was like, they was like, oh, you out? I said, I'm out. And not that, you know, the person could be a great person, but you could be a good friend. If I know where I want to be, you know, I got goals set.
Right.
I know where I want to be in 2 years, and I know that that's going to hinder my goal. I'm not stepping into that.
There's nothing wrong. But here's the issue. Okay, wait a minute. You bring up a great point. Go ahead.
And then I want you to elaborate. So then they say, oh, what, you out? I was like, yeah, I'm out. Like the whole, you drop off your children. Hold up, I got plans. Like, these are my plans. And then you drop off your child. To me, no, I'm not. That's not what I'm looking for right now. Been there, done that. That's not what I'm looking for. So I feel you, Nick, on that 110%. And it's like, wait, this is what I'm doing. So now my dreams and aspiration has to be on pause or stopped, because I am stuck in this relationship. And I'm using air quotes for the listening audience. Hey, we got over 10,000 on the listeners. Come on in the room, y'all. Let's have a look.
Come on to the YouTube.
Okay. So I'm like, wait a minute. My life got to stop because your situation that you weren't in. Even you were in there part time, but now it went full time. And it's like, wait a minute, this was not the plan. And why do I have to stop doing what I'm doing? So boom, I'm out. And call me. I'll call myself for you, because y'all know how y'all be on the Twitters. Scumbag. Call me a scumbag, because I'm out. And like,
But
if your mother is there and you listen, I think it was mom. It was an older lady. She said, after a certain age, this is what this lady said. After 50, she said, listen here, baby. After 50, either he looking for a nurse or a purse.
oh,
And honey, I said, and then all of a sudden, boom, now you want to take care of your mother and you want me to take care of your, no. And I know the type of person that I am. And if I know you're not doing it right, you come on.
But here's the thing.
I know I'm gonna do, because I'm not gonna let somebody suffer. But then here again, boom, I gotta pause my dreams and my aspirations.
But here's the thing again.
I don't want to resent them.
But
So call me a runner or a track star. If you tell me your ex-wife, now watch this, and I'm gonna ask y'all this: if you're dating somebody, or you potentially are gonna date somebody, and they tell you that their ex-wife died and it's died on your birthday. So would you jump into that relationship?
No, I don't think so.
Because you can't be happy on your day.
Right.
That's gonna be the saddest day of your life. But I want to get back to what you were saying. Come on, let me rewind the tape a little bit, because you were a runner. And it's not that you're a runner, it's just that you see the red flags that you do not want to deal with. So it's like, I would consider it running. A lot of times people ignore red flags. They ignore, well, she just got that wrong with it. Oh, well, okay, I can deal with that. He just got that wrong. Okay, I can deal with that. It's nothing wrong with, if you see something that you don't necessarily vibe with, there's nothing wrong with you stepping away from that particular situation. And a lot of times I feel that, in my opinion, sometimes people will accept the red flag and just kind of say, oh, okay, well, I can deal with that. He just got a little issue I can deal with, but it's like, there's nothing wrong with, if that's not what you want to deal with, to just say, you know what, I'm cool, and that person be acceptable. But a lot of times people can't accept when another person walks away because they don't feel like that suits them. There's nothing wrong with walking away from something if it doesn't fit your vernacular. People just accept anything. Stop feeling like you got to accept anything from anybody, man, woman, child, or beast. It's like, you deserve what you deserve. You know what I'm saying? If it don't fit you, then it's okay to say, you know what, this ain't for me, I'm gone. There's nothing wrong with that. And we have to stop. We have to stop conforming. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, for my opinion, I feel like if it doesn't fit you, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, look, this ain't fitting for me, I gotta go. Especially if you ain't got no ring on it and you ain't married to nobody. If it don't work for you, it's okay to step away. But people feel like, well, that's all right, I could just deal with that red flag. Stop doing that to yourself, because you're limiting yourself, because there could be somebody else out there for you that fits you. And what people miss is, like I said, if those red flags are there, then just, respect the red flags and say, you know what, I got to move on.
And see, and that's the bait and switch on the opposite end, because you have people that you're putting up with this and you see these red flags.
Exactly.
Yogi's grandmother said, if you see one red flag, it's usually a parade to follow.
Yes, it is.
So when you accept that red flag and you still step into it, you can't flip it and switch it, because this person showed you who they were at the beginning. So, you know what I mean? So just like you said, or you kind of look past that and, okay, I dealt with it. And then now we in this relationship. Now I don't want to deal with it anymore.
Right. Just like, biggest word is insecurity. You deal with people with insecurities. You know what I'm saying? If and you're accepting that, then it's like you're accepting whatever else comes with it. And people miss that. Stop dealing with people that are insecure and deal with somebody that has confidence. We as Black people as a whole, it's like, there's nothing wrong with being confident. There's nothing wrong with that. It's like me and my godfather will talk all the time about insecurities and insecure people. It's like, if you're not secure in yourself, then don't put yourself out there.
Boom. That goes back to that comment that was up there. Who was it? Theo from Facebook.
Right.
What did he say? The I and you must be, there it is. Thank you.
Right.
The I and the you must be good individually before the we can be together as one. Now, when you say being secure and being confident, here's the thing though. When you have that fella that comes off confident, but they're really not. They're really not. And it's like that can be that can be dangerous.
Yes.
And I was trying to think of what word I was going to use because I want to be careful. I definitely want to
be let's go volatile. It could be volatile.
There you go. Yeah, I don't want to have them out there domestic. You know, they be like, oh, wait, now I'm aggressive. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, let me say this right. Because you have that guy that'll come off like, oh, okay, I'm confident, but they're totally insecure.
Well, when he come up like that, he fronting.
Bait and switch. And it's people out there. It's some people out there, they look the part, and it's like, okay, well, they have this going on and that going on. They don't want for nothing, but they are insecure. And then what happens is they're upset that you find out that they're insecure, and they want to take their aggression out on you. And that's not okay. And that's where that verbal and emotional abuse comes in.
Exactly.
That's what I was trying to like, let me.
Exactly. That's why I said, like I said, you have to find somebody that's secure themselves. You know what I'm saying? And you have to be secure in yourself. Because if you're not secure,
that's that bait and switch.
Exactly. So if you're not secure, then that's some things that are going to go haywire.
And it's really interesting too, because it's like if they're insecure and then you find out their insecurities, then they start looking at you to try to make you insecure.
Right. Like, and that's what happens is, and that's where that whole mental trauma comes in with dealing with, you know, like I said, the whole browbeating and dogging that person and tearing that person down. That doesn't work. You don't treat people like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if I can go biblical for a second, I'll say, love thy neighbor as you love yourself.
I'm like, yeah, you know, you can go biblical on here.
Love thy neighbor as you love yourself. Because if you love yourself, then that means you have to love that person the same way. My grandmother always said it's nice to be nice. You got to treat people the way you want to be treated. And that's 100 all the way across the board, because I don't allow nobody to disrespect me and come in me any kind of way. My mom and daddy don't disrespect me, so I'll be doggone if I let another man, woman, child, or whoever come disrespect me, because I don't disrespect people unless provoked. So it's like when it comes down to it, you have to respect the person and where they are. Nobody is perfect. We all have our hangups. We all have our issues, but it's how we work it out. That's the way I feel about that.
Now, here's the thing with loving that neighbor as thyself. You can do that, but they may not have those same values or morals, and they won't treat you right. So do you stay in that relationship if you are not there? Yeah. And when I say if you are not, hear me, and I meant to say that, do you stay in that relationship if you are not there? So we know as female, I can tell you this as females, when we check out, we already checked out and we checked out. So you're like in it physically, but mentally you're gone. You stay in that situation because you're loving thyself as thy neighbor, love thy neighbor as thyself, meaning, you know, and in this part, your spouse or date and be in a bad situation and not happy just because of that.
What I mean by that is, it's like you have to.
But I know what you mean. I do, but I'm just
saying, like, love, you got to. And like a lot of times there's, you know, people get respect twisted. You know what I'm saying? It's like you gotta respect the person. Can't
Yep.
just treat anybody any kind of way. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people don't have no respect for each other anymore. We have lost a lot of things. You know, morals and values are like not like it used to be. You know, you had respect for a person. You treated the person kind. You treated the person with love, and you treated the person with respect. You know what I'm saying? The way people are nowadays, it is terrible. How people just treat each other and just dog each other any kind of way, and they think that that's okay and it's not cool. You know, like I said, I'm not perfect, but I do know how to respect and treat a person
Mhm.
because of the way that I was raised. The way that I was raised was that you treat people with kindness and love, and you know what I'm saying? And that could be reciprocated. You know what I'm saying? But today's society is not like that. When I look at the internet, it's sad. It's sad and it's terrible how people just don't care and just do anything. You know what I'm saying? You have people that want to do right, but then they're pushed to do wrong because of sometimes how they're treated, how they're bullied, how they're spoken to, you know.
Because so they're pushed to do wrong because of somebody else's actions.
Sometimes people sometimes people black out. It goes back to mental trauma again because you have people that have been through mental trauma, and like I said, you don't know where a person's mindset is, where that action could have came from. It could have been from a past bully in their life. It could have been from a past abuse. It could have been from anything, you know.
When does that when does that come out? When is that question? When is that released to the person that you are potentially dating? When do you share that information, or do you share it? Because back in the day, we used to look in the cabinets. Now anybody going to each other's houses because they don't trust everybody. But before,
Right.
you used to look in the medicine cabinet and be like, "Oh, trazodone 150 3 times a day." Okay, what's
It
going
come,
on? When
it
does
should
that come
be
out?
it should be it should be in the beginning. Like I said, you should sit down face to face with a person and talk to a person, not over a meal, maybe over a cup of coffee. But the main thing is, it's like you're supposed to sit down and talk to them and find out every aspect of them before you move forward. It's like you almost need a training guide, almost like you need a dating for dummies.
Yeah, you definitely need that. And listen here, you said over coffee.
Hmm.
That's a good idea because you see how
Real talk.
they're gonna be. Let me see what their caffeine is. They get decaf or
Right.
caffeinated. They got
Exactly.
you gonna see
Exactly.
exactly
My
what is
cousin told me that.
in them.
Yeah. Because that tells the whole story of how it affects a person. You know, so like I said, you almost need a guide to sit down with a person and ask that person because there's so many different aspects of the relationship nowadays. You know, hey, have you had any unusual sexual experiences? You know, they might at one point in time they might have experienced with being gay. You got to ask those questions.
Okay, wait, Nick. How do you ask that question?
Just the way I asked it.
What?
What are
Are you
your
bi?
sexual preferences?
Exactly.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Nick. Yay! See, Nick said that good.
But even with that, you know, they may not even tell it like that way.
Well, I had somebody told me they was like, I'm not all into the hanging from the chandeliers.
Well, they must be heavy.
I was laughing because I was like, where'd that come from? But okay,
Yeah,
I thought that was funny though. That's my homeboy. But
of course.
he said that he was like, yeah, I had to tell her I ain't into the chandeliers. So in my mind, you already know me. I'm
Right.
like, oh man, what kind of encounters did you have?
Right, exactly.
Well,
Like what?
he
Like,
might have fell off. He might the chandelier might have broke. He might have hurt
Right.
something. You know, he might have landed wrong. So you know, it's all how you do it. You know,
listen, I
he
just
might have tried it and boom, he might have hit the headboard or something. You know, busted his head to the white meat. So you know,
I
it
used to
depends on what
hang
happened.
out at listen, I used to hang out at this one store, right? This dude, rest his soul, he gone over, but I ain't gonna say his name. Older guy. He
Uh-huh.
decided to have a little rendezvous, right? He cheats on his wife, have a rendezvous with this little young girl. He
Mm-hmm.
came back to the store. Be like, Mel, you hanging on the corner. Well, we be in the inside, right? That's at this
Mm-hmm.
after I get off work.
Right.
Dude came back with a boot. So now he had a boot on his right foot. We couldn't figure out what happened because we knew what was going on before. Because he's like, yeah, this is what I'm doing. He was excited about this, right? Came
Right.
back and he said they was take your kids off the road. He said, yeah, we doing this thing. She just turned me around and then I turned her around. And we like, well, what happened? Why you got he had a wrist split and a boot. He said, what the problem was, I thought she was holding me up.
Dang.
They both fell. Man, it was the funniest thing. So the guy that's working the store, rest his soul, he passed through. He was like, well, what you gonna tell your wife? He stayed at the store. And I stayed there till 9 o'clock till they closed just because I wanted to hear the story. He was like, well, what you gonna tell your wife when you get home? He was like, I don't know. I gotta come up with something. Maybe it was a fight over here at the store. And a boo talking about something. I was like, wait a minute, you on her back? He was like, yeah, I thought she was holding me up and she thought I was holding her up. And they both just fell off the
bed. Oh, Lord.
That was the funniest thing. I bet you won't cheat again. It was
trying to figure that one out.
Right.
Funny.
Mm.
But, it's like, you got to tell these people these things. So what's your sexual preference? Do you think if I'm sitting at the table with you and I ask that question, would you be offended by it?
No, I would not, because I'm a person that, I'm an open book. I'm a conversationalist. So for me, it's like no question is a dumb question.
Okay.
You can always, I feel like you're supposed to know every aspect of that person. What their favorite color is. What's your favorite movie? What's your favorite food? What are you allergic to? You know what I'm saying? What flowers do you like?
That should be on the first date.
What's that?
First date.
Exactly. Those are things that you need to know. You need to know every aspect of a person, because like you said, you don't want no surprises later. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to kind of find out they're a serial killer down the line. You want to know from the beginning. If you are trying to vibe with somebody, if you're trying to be with somebody, you want to know every aspect of their life, and there shouldn't be no holes barred. They should be able to ask you just as many questions as you ask them. But what happens in today's society, nobody asks questions anymore. You know what I'm saying?
What's up with this text? Text or phone call over 40?
I believe phone call.
Me.
Phone call, we grown. We grew up on the phone. Come on, Mel. You remember the 3 ways.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So we grew up on the phone. So it's like, no, don't text me, call me. Because I believe that, hearing a person's voice, actually explains, you get a better understanding when you hear a person's voice, an expression, a laugh. Like I said, we've gotten away from certain traditions. Like one day it came to me, I was out of nowhere. I heard the old Ohio Bell commercial, reach out and touch someone, reach out, call up and just say hi. I heard that commercial in my head. Okay. Now, how long ago was that? My whole thing of it is that we still have to reach out to one another. All this technology is cool, but a phone call will never override a phone call will always override a text any day, because you can hear a person's expressions, you can hear them laugh. It's like, that's how we grew up. We grew up talking on the phone. That's how you got to know somebody.
Okay, so is it a red flag if he or she just texts over 40, dating over 40, or getting to know each other?
Of course, because they grew up on the phone too. They grew up on the phone too.
What'd you say, Nick?
Or married.
Now that's something. If you that is.
Text me for it. Pick up the phone and call me. Stop texting me. Why you? What's the matter with listening to the person's voice? Why are you texting me? I
And you know,
listen.
that's a very good point
Yeah.
because guess what? They
We
can't talk.
don't go
So you text.
together.
Mm-hmm.
We're married.
Mm-hmm.
Stop texting.
Well, yeah, if you
Yeah.
text somebody, they probably are. It's probably some underlying issues. They might be. Look, they might be at work too, though. But all the time, like you can't pick up the phone to call, and it's just a
No.
text.
A
That
phone
that
call is a phone call is that direct communication. You know what I'm saying? Because you hear that person's voice, tell that person what you need to tell them. Like I said, communication is key. You
mm-hmm.
know, and like I said, if you over 40, you should not be texting unless you at work, unless you got that type of job. But if you could pick up the phone, you pick up the phone and you make a phone call.
If you over 40 and married, you shouldn't be at your mama house texting.
Mm.
Now, guess what? That's a huge red flag because I ain't marrying somebody that's you can a text at your mama house. So that means you ain't even allowed to talk to me still. You ain't allowed on the phone yet. Like, yeah, you still
Mm,
ain't allowed on the phone.
mm. Don't want mama to
Mm.
know you talking to the wife. Mm.
Oh no, no, no. We're not gonna
Whoa,
do that.
whoa,
We're not
whoa,
gonna do that.
whoa. Whoa.
Look, no, we're
Whoa.
not gonna do that.
Stop the record. Stop the record. Ew.
Look,
I'm just saying.
shots fired. We got to
Mhm. Big shots fired.
I mean,
we
that's
go.
part of the lonely. Listen, married and lonely. That's part of it.
Ooh.
But you know what? And we only getting one side of it, and I don't even care to know any of of the other side or any side, to be honest with you, because I don't
Right.
get into folks' marriages, and
Mhm.
that's where we have to say, okay, don't involve me, don't include me, because I'm gonna tell you, there's people that'll tell you they'll poison your mind about their spouse, and they're mad because they going through or they're upset with their spouse at the time, and I'm not speaking, to you, Nick. I'm just saying in general. And then they get back with that spouse. And then since you forgave your husband, we supposed to forgive him, but you told us all the bad things about him. That's a hard place to be in. And then when they're back together, it's like, oh, okay, well, we gonna come over. No, we still mad about everything how he did you. I mean, and that's when you include other people in your relationship, which you should not.
What I always
Not you.
tell
I'm
a
not saying
friend,
you. I'm
no,
just
I
saying
like to that. What
overall.
I tell a friend is any whatever situation you in with your spouse, can't nobody at the end of the day that is your spouse, and can't nobody get mad at you for, even though you know the situation. Can't nobody get mad at you for getting back with your spouse, because at the end of the day that is your spouse.
Yes.
Exactly.
And I'm always tell a friend that at the end of the day, I can't be mad at you for getting back with your husband. I
Mm-hmm.
can't. Because number one, that ain't none of my business, because I got my own
Exactly.
business with mine to tend to. So I can't be
Mm-hmm.
mad at you about getting back with yours. If
Mm-hmm.
that's what
All
y'all
about
decide
what
to
you
do,
can
because
tolerate.
y'all stood before God and man or whoever, and you said your vows till death do us part, and that's part of it. That's what that means. So the good, the bad, the ugly, or whatever y'all have, and not no marriage is perfect. No marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has their period of, like they said, that 7 year itch. So everybody has that period that everything is not going to be perfect.
This is
So
true.
what I look like getting mad at you about getting back with yours? Only a jealous person would. I'm still having
Right.
problems with mine, and you back with yours. And nah, nah, that's not how we rock and roll.
Now let me say this. You said only a jealous person would. Here's where the issue is. When you're married and you talk about your issues with other people,
Mm-hmm.
that's the problem. Because if you didn't involve other people wouldn't have anything to say.
Yep.
So
You gotta keep about your
that's
business.
yeah, it's like,
You gotta keep about your marriage. It's like you when you
yes,
allow when you the conversation, like I said, my favorite equation is between the two and the four. Between the four walls, between the two sheets. That's where your conversation's supposed to stay. It shouldn't go outside of your house. Shouldn't go to your mama's house. That's for you. Shouldn't go to your cousin, your uncle, your girlfriends, your boys. That's supposed to stay in house. Period. It
mhm.
should not be outside the house. Nobody else outside the house should know what's going on in your house.
Your
And
therapist.
nobody should come in your house and be in your business.
Except your
Now,
therapist.
and you're right, and I agree with you on that.
Except for who, Nick?
Your
I mean,
therapist.
your therapist, exactly.
Counselor.
Counselor,
Whether it be
exactly.
your pastor or whether it be the one that got
Amen.
that doctorate, that doctor degree to do that.
That's right.
Yeah. Like
It should be
I
truly
I believe
confidential.
in counseling. Like
And it should be. The thing is, you got to
Hmm.
stop putting, you'll hear over and over, don't let people in. That's the advice they have. Don't let other people in your marriage.
Right.
Don't open the door for those other people to come in your marriage. Because
Right.
once you go talking about your spouse or your significant other,
Hmm.
you just open the door.
Yeah, you're
So
exactly
it's
right.
like, just don't even do it. Don't do it. Because I'm be honest, most people, and you have those out there that'll be like, oh, okay, you with your single friends, where they man at? And they automatically go on the defense. When the single friends is telling they married friends, girl, you better, ain't nothing out here. See if you can
But
work that out. So everything is
mhm.
not all
but
bad.
that's true. That's true friends. Because you got
Right.
some women out here, and it's funny because I heard Sinbad say a long time ago, he told his wife at the time, he said, ladies, stop telling your girlfriends what your husband do for you because they're living through your fantasy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you
And
can't
then when
tell them.
they be like, oh, I didn't get everything that she got because she's a
Right.
different person.
Right. And I feel like you're
But
supposed
sometimes
to
they
hang with
get more.
Right.
right.
Sometimes not. I mean, I like that. But the old bait and switch, listen, either way it go, because you have narcissists. And honestly, the world operates like that. You got your givers, your takers, your narcissists, your
Yes, you do.
empaths, so it's like, who are you balanced with?
Hmm.
What are you willing to tolerate? Is this something that you know that you can deal with? Is it
Exactly.
fair to present your representative? And then once you get into it, you be like, oh, wait, the bait and switch. Because now when you look at, once you get older, you don't need 2 and 3 years, 4 years to be together to say, okay, if I want to marry this person or not, especially if you've been married before. So
Right.
you know what you can tolerate. Like that one young lady, one of the people in the comments below said that it's either I want to deal with your BS or I don't.
Right.
Mhm.
And what am I able to stand? You
Right.
know, can I stand you or not? Like, what is it
Right.
gonna be? And when you're
Mhm.
dealing with other people, it's like, oh, okay, at this age, they say, oh, don't forget you married a family. Now I could say that when you're younger, you'd be like, okay, yeah, you're marrying them and you're marrying their family. But when you reach a certain level, your family, it should be your immediate family, not your aunt, your uncle's like, yeah, I'm all with them. And yes, I married the family. And I seen you look art like married the family. Because I have
Well,
some cousins, let me be honest. I have,
hmm
I have some cousins who were married. And once
hmm
you marry into our family, your family.
I mean, but that's
Have a
that's
new,
a given.
I hear you. They have a
That's
they
how
That,
have a
we
new,
are.
they may have a new spouse, but guess
that,
what?
that's a
Don't
given.
We
contact
still.
first.
That's
You
a given. I mean,
Mhm.
that's the traditional part of it. It's like when I feel like this, when you marry the person, you marry the family. It's not, no, I just married that person. No, they had relatives, cousins, aunties, uncles before you. So
but
the thing of it is that
watch this though. When you hit 40 and up, and I'm just saying 40, but it's usually like 50 and up, you're married to that person because guess what? The family living their own lives. But
They
when
well,
you're
should
young,
be.
regardless, but they still have relationship.
well, yeah, I understand what you're saying. But
Right.
when you're younger, it's the whole family. Think
Of
about
course.
it.
I
The
mean,
Mhm.
but that's
whole
the way that's the package deal of it. Like, like for me, it's like, you know, no matter what, their family. If I've had children, and my children
now
have three sets of
that's a point. When you have children,
my
you
children
have
have three sets of grandparents. They got three sets of grandparents.
mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So it's like that is automatic. Period. I'm sorry, but it's like you can't just marry the person and not deal with the family. I have a whole problem with that because I've seen that before with family where they just married the person and said basically screw the family, which is not
Not
cool.
like that. Not like you don't want to deal with the family or you isolating them. That's not what I'm saying. But when you're older, because you said when you had children, once you have
Mhm.
children, you are family.
Right.
Like you could be divorced, whatever. That you at every family reunion, cookout, you are family.
But it
Yeah,
depends on the person too, how orientated they are with their family.
but watch this. Yeah, I understand that. But when you get older,
Hmm.
like I'm not looking at your family or trying to like, oh, okay, well, the family likes me. I'm gonna go ahead. Cause see, think about it. We've all of us have been married young.
Hmm.
And it was like, okay, the cousins, the boom, and we had to pretty much had to get the approval of everybody, second cousins, all of that when you're younger.
Yeah.
When you get older, it's right here. And do you really care about what your sister or brother say about a person and you like 50?
Some
It's
people
about,
still
it's
some
about what
people
you
still
want.
do. Some people still do because it depends on the tightness of the family. You have some people, I know for a fact that I know a person that who's very tight knit with their family,
And
with their
that's all
brothers and
well and
sisters.
good.
But
That's all well and good. Look, Nick got effects on her camera. Her camera went blurry.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to
Blurred
figure out
out.
what
you got
happened.
some you
She
got some
blurred
curl
I
out.
you
didn't touch
you
it.
got some
Because
it's like
Nick
you got
was
some curl activator, like you got some curl activator on your camera, girl. What's going on?
I didn't touch the thing. I just turned around and it focused on its own.
yeah, listen though. But Nick, this is what I got for you. Now he said, yes, it does. There you go.
There you
And
go.
it
Right
said,
and shiny.
look at the beautiful pearly whites.
There
Here
you
you
go.
go. He was saying, yeah, it depends on how close knit you are to the family. Now, Nick, how old are you? Over 50,
51.
right? Okay.
Mhm.
Nobody should be worried about what their brother or their mother is saying. Once you hit a certain age, it should be like, am I in this marriage for you? Or am I worried about these people, what they telling me, or what they're telling me, and also picking my people of who makes me happy.
Mm,
That
mm.
matters to me because I'm like, okay, you still can't make your own decisions. I'm out.
Even
But
after
I
40.
don't.
Because how would you feel if your your spouse's mother told you that they didn't want their son to marry you because you have been married previously? Excuse me? Huh? Like what? What? Huh?
If you're 20, I can see that. Over 40, like I don't know. Cause you know what I'm saying? And I can speak, as a mother. It's like, okay, a mother of adult children. Okay, wait. But when you're 40, like I don't want you to be alone forever. And it shouldn't matter about what I want because I can't tell you, oh, okay, yeah, you don't need those window treatments. I can't run your household.
No.
Only
It's
you know
like
what makes you happy
mm,
and what's important.
Right.
if that's a grown man, it's like I feel like his mother should not have that much power. Period. Because if
Point blank.
he's over 40
Hmm.
and his mama still runs that, then that's a whole problem. That's not a grown man. That's a boy that's still clinging to his mama's apron.
And like, how do
Because
you go from as a mother while your son is dating someone? Oh, that's my girl. That's my girl. To when you find out they get engaged and get married, then all of a sudden you flip the script and that two face come in, that fakeness come in. How do you do that? How can you do that? I just don't understand. And there we go, debate and switch.
You, you heard you heard me. Where my thing? Where my sound effects? Shots fired. We're gonna get her into counseling. Like, what my sound effects?
Listen,
We gonna get her into
She done
counseling.
had,
this show was that you
she done
listen.
had,
We talked
she
about it
done had
last
two.
week. You knew that was gonna be a little trigger,
She
but
she
it
she done
did
had
fall
two.
into
She done
Wait,
had
hold on
two.
here. Art, what you
She
say?
had both her guns blazing today, boy. Both of them like just shooting today, just like you was in the western, just a cowboy with it today.
but I mean, it still goes in with the
On foot.
topic.
She didn't got a horse. She just on foot. Like,
No, she just gunslinging today. You was officially Nikki the gunslinger today. I'm sorry.
It goes along with the topic, and I'm an
Yeah.
open book,
it
and I really
does.
don't
It
care because if it's
does.
something I don't
Yes.
want nobody to know,
Well,
trust me, you will not know.
the
So
thing
if
of it
I'm
is,
telling it's not like you getting it second hand or
I
third hand or
got you.
somebody gossiping.
I got you.
yeah,
I got you. I want to steer back on here on the topic, the bait and switch. So it can go either way.
Hmm.
It can
hmm
go either way. And I think that, which we all agree on, that those conversations need to be had, especially
yes,
over 40.
yes,
And they need to be addressed early on just so that you know what you are getting into.
yes.
And with 70 years promise, and if you at 50, you only got 20 more. I ain't got 20 years to be sitting here learning you, or people
Right.
telling me from the outside looking in saying,
Mm,
oh, they just met. They just met 2 years ago. They getting married. Why is it a time limit? Because and I'm sorry to put this out here. People getting divorced so often, even though it's supposed to be till death do we part. But it's a whole different thing now.
yeah.
Right.
It's a whole different thing. And people are like, listen, I don't like this. I thought this is what it was. I was lied to. The old bait and switch. You came off this way, and this is what I got. And I did not
Mm-hmm.
sign up for this. Back to the very beginning with the whole
Mm-hmm.
drop off. That's a lie. So it's like to me, when you get married, it is company. Or at this age, when you're not reproducing, it's like, let's have a good time. I got company. We go on dates all the time. You my permanent date when I got to go here. You know what I'm saying? But you got to make sure that you both are on the same wavelength.
Exactly, because that's important. You have to, like you said from the beginning, you have to sit down and ask those pertinent questions. Those questions are important. You have to know that person. You know what I'm saying? To really, really get an understanding of who they are so that down the line it won't be no, well, wait a minute, this ain't what I signed up for. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Because you got to know that person for yourself. You got to sit down and you just have to have those conversations. You got to have those conversations to the point that you all understand and that you all know. So there is no question of later on. You know what I'm saying? And people have shied away from just sitting down, like I said, just having a cup of coffee and just having a conversation. Not about, it shouldn't be about a sexual thing. Don't pull the cart before the horse because that's what people mess up at. It should be a conversation where they should be able to sit down and just talk about everything from A to Z, not shy away from anything. And like I said, they just need a book, Dating for Dummies, because, there are things and questions that a person should ask. They should know before they get to the table, hey, make a game out of it. Let's have question night,
But a lot
and
of
just
people don't like questions.
because if they don't like questions, because they're
They got
hiding
something they
things.
hiding. They are
Mhm.
hiding something.
Period. Because if that's what they're doing, if they don't like questions, then it's like you mail up. We got to go close this case. We out.
I'm out.
That's it.
I should say
Because
that.
if they can't answer questions and you all are supposed to be trying to vibe, you're supposed to be trying to date. If they can't answer questions, then you know what? It's time to go. Because I feel like when you're dating somebody is, and I'm going to quote him. My godfather would say, "You lay all your cards on the table, all of them.
Hmm.
Pull them aces out your sleeve and off the cuff of your shoe or whatever, and put them all on the table and put the truth out there. Period. Because if you don't put the truth out there, then like I said, somebody's gonna get bit in the end. And you have to be an open book.
My
You
thing
know,
is, and this is just a question, doesn't pertain to me in my situation. What if you do put everything out there, and then that other person uses what you tell them against you during your relationship. This is what, somebody has asked me, or, they have experienced. And I was like, wow,
That's
that's
really
crazy.
sad. That's really sad for somebody to do that. That's really sad, and it's really low for somebody to do that to a person,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And like I said, that's why you gotta lay all your cards on the table to know who they really are, you know. Maya Angelou said it best. If a person show you who they are,
Ooh, believe them.
believe
But that's the problem. They don't show
They
you
ain't
who they
showing you
are.
it.
now.
Right. That's
They
what I'm saying.
hiding it.
Right. And it's like they have to take the mask off and they have to be real. And if they're not willing to do that, then it's just like the doctor in the doctor's office. Next,
Yeah, after
you got to move on.
well, but here's the thing: they charging you.
I mean, but you know what I
Charging
mean.
you for that visit.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you got to move on. You basically got to move to, if that person is not your cup of tea, then you basically need to say, you know what? I got to go. This ain't what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not fair to a person that's looking, especially for a person that's looking for love and looking to be with somebody to settle down.
Right.
It's not fair to that person because they want to be with somebody. They want to, they trying to grow with that person. They trying to, enjoy their life with that person, and they trying to do things, and they're trying to build together. That person wants to build that person, and then that person has a whole change of heart and leaves that person open. That's not cool at all.
Right. Because you get into it as we, not I,
Right.
not you, we,
Right.
and you are supposed to build each other up at that point. If
Exactly.
and not
Yeah.
build each other up, you're building together.
Right.
You're supposed to be building together.
Right. When you build it together, then it's like it's us.
Right. Exactly.
It's
Like
a us thing.
nowadays people don't understand that though. And
You know?
even with some of the people from the older generation, I mean, they felt like that when it was their time, but now that it's not their time, it's like I didn't where like where did the old traditional values, family values and everything go?
It
Where
got
did it
lost.
go?
It got lost in
Especially
translation.
with the black family, like you would think as much as black folks have been through that we would want to stick together and stay together. And
Mhm.
that's with a lot of things, not just the marriages or anything else. Is with a lot of things. You would think that we would want to stay together and stick together because we are still in this day and age fighting things that we were supposed to have overcome a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, I like to affectionately say that we are last in the race.
Exactly. And that's
And
sad
it's
all the
and the
time.
sad part about it is and I put it this way, we are athletic, we are the strongest, we are the most talented in the race, but we are last in the race
All the
because
way.
we will not come together. We will not stop killing each other. We will not love on each other. We will not respect each other. We will not put down the guns and the drugs and love our children and protect our children because
Mhm.
we're caught up in our own selves, and we are caught up in this rat race of a society, and we're caught up in technology, and it's not, some forms is good and some forms is bad, but
Let me say
we
this.
are missing. We're missing it.
Let me tell you what my perspective is. My perspective on that is we are envious people.
Yes.
And that's what it boils down to.
Mhm.
Yes.
And I'll hear, oh yeah, black man, do this, I'm for the black man. And like you said, stop killing and stop envy.
Yes.
Jealousy is a real
Jealousy
thing.
is
Yes,
the
it is.
biggest.
And
It's the
I
biggest problem.
that's it. That's it in a nutshell. It's like, yeah, I support you till I feel like you're doing better than me.
Mhm.
And this is even for some adults, and I've seen it, and it really hurt my heart because you'll hear it, and you'll hear people speak as a whole, like this younger generation. Look at them, they pants hanging down, and blah 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 blah. So
Mhm.
you're complaining, But then
Mm-hmm.
there's people in the younger generation that's suited and booted and doing it. And then
Yes.
guess what? Oh, I got a problem with that. How did they
Right.
get this? I had to work for mine. Come on.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know,
And
instead of looking at I had to work for mine, yes, come on, young brother, you doing it. You didn't have to
mm-hmm.
work that hard. But you'll see
Exactly.
grown men, you got young men jealous of you, and you got the grown men jealous of you.
This is
And
true.
that young child is looking at you as a role model and was like, boom, look, I see how you dress. I want to look like that. And then
Right.
bam, they looking like that because all of them don't have their pants hanging down. And you got
Right.
a problem with them because these young folk got what? More swag, more
Right.
confidence than you had at that age. You want them
Exactly.
to work. That's that the game is sold, not told. Come on, man.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
We got to do better. But listen, we have come to the end of our show. So
Right.
yes,
Right. Yeah.
guess what? I want to say thank you to today's co-host. So y'all give it up to the hostess with the mostest.
No doubt. No doubt. It's good to
RP.
be back. Good to see y'all. It's good to be back. Good to see y'all. Enjoyed it.
Hey.
You know, hey, good to do our thing again.
All right. All right, Nick, you did your thing. You came with guns blaring. I like, oh yeah, and it is on the topic, but you can do it. Thank you much, thank you much, thank you much. I had a lot of fun with you. You know I did. So thanks for coming on, and I'm gonna finish my little footnote.
All right. We forgot about the male's medical moments and everything again.
Girl, that's right. We got all into it. All into it. So there you have it. Thank you so much, Nick the Voice. All right, lovely people. Listen, today's topic was the bait and switch. How do I know if I'm even ready to get married again? I'm gonna give you a few tips on that after divorce. Okay. So, first of all, you find yourself thinking less about the past and what happened and what's going on today. Boom. Another one, you look at the person and you're struck by their beauty. You're like, okay, wait, maybe this is it. Boom. Another one that there is, you feel good about yourself. The endorphins is going, your happy hormone. Okay. Another one, you have accepted what has happened in the past and not blaming yourself or the other person. You let it go. Why? Because somebody else has caught your attention. All right. And you also like yourself. You know what I mean? So here's the deal. If you are ready to date, go ahead out there and date. Go out there and date. Ask those questions. You heard the co-host. No question is off limits or too early to ask. Okay. So ask those questions out there. Be in love with the idea of being in love and know that you don't have to die alone. But I will tell you one thing, and I'm going to give you these stats like I did early on. People are enjoying dating and are not getting married. 48.2% are singles by choice. Now, statistics show that the divorce rate, so I guess like singles is winning right now, the divorce rate, expected divorce rate for 2022 is 44.2% of the married couples will be divorced. Why? Married and lonely. So everybody wants to be happy. So find that happy person for you and go to the table and say, this is what I'm looking for. I don't want you to stop being you, because I'm not going to stop being me. Get together, have fun, and make the most of it. And if you are married and you find yourself in that place or in that rut, remember to happy and remix it. Go out, date, love one another, okay? And love on each other. All right? All right, that is all I have for you, my lovely people. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment on all social platforms, wherever you are. And thank you for listening. I'm on every podcast, on your favorite podcast. So whichever one that is, just check out your girl, ShopTalk with Mel. If you would like to donate to the broadcast, you can feel free to do so. And that information is right here below. So if you feel like you want to give and in a loving mood, there you got it. And it goes toward the broadcast. So I love you guys for listening. Like I said before, each and every single Saturday, find you, embrace you. Most importantly, always, always love you. Until next week, people, you know what it is. Shop Talk. every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. See you next week. Peace.